everyone, we are the Group 3 and we are going to present the Global City. Good morning everyone, I am Mary Rose Cuago and I will be going to discuss the three phases of globalization. 21st century is a hub for a closer relation of states and wider perspective in technological development. As such, the world became spider wave where people thought that there is interconnectivity of nations. It is in globalization that made civilizations become closer to each other. According to Thomas Friedman, there are three phases of globalization and the interconnectedness of nations. Globalization 1.0 that lasted from 1492 to 1800 and shrank the world from a size large to a size medium. Globalization 1.0 can be summarized as a period that significantly reduced the barriers between nations. The second phase talks about the age of Pax Britannica, where Great Britain was the hegemonic power in terms of trade and economy. It is known as Globalization 2.0. Globalization 2.0, this phase began in the late 20th century with the advent of new technologies such as the internet and personal computers. Globalization 3.0, this phase, according to Friedman, is the current era we are living in. It is marked by the empowerment of individuals through technology, allowing them to connect, collaborate, and compete globally. Globalization 3.0 occurred during the second half of the 20th century, and this is also the age of Pax America, where the United States of America was the hegemonic power in terms of security, trade, and economy. So, in summary, in Friedman's three phases of globalization highlights the evolving nature of interconnectedness between nations.
Good day everyone, I'm Ronald Reedizon and I'll be tackling about soft power and the role of global corporation in multipolar world. Unlike in the 19th and 20th century, the present state does not use tactics of force as a primary strategy in maintaining its influence to the another state. Rather, it uses soft power to retain their own dominance in the region. According to Joseph Nye, who actually coined the term, soft power uses different types of tools to establish cooperation, an attraction to shared values, and justness and duty of contributing to the achievement of those values. Philippine cultures are tinged with foreign influences, such as Spain, US, and Japan. For Spain introduced Catholicism in the Philippines, which is why the majority of its populations are Catholic. For US introduced English language. They use English as a medium of instruction. That is why the majority of the Filipinos can speak English conversationally. For Japan, Japanese occupation in the Philippines tried to abolish English and establish their own Nihongo language as a medium of instruction. They believe that Asians are for Asians. Ang Asya ay para sa Asyano. Now let's go to the role of global corporations in the multipolar world. Multinational corporations plays a substantial part in the global economy and do enjoy a multitude of privileges such as unquestionable access to vast amount of wealth they do from their income. Multinational seems to tie together an otherwise politically separated and clouded world under an all-encompassing banner of commerce and economy. Thus, multinationals, in a sense, have a capacity to erase and transcend the borders of the world. It is a common knowledge that a company will be taxed after the deduction of operational cost in the revenue. Take note that tax avoidance and tax evasions are different. Tax avoidance is an action to lessen the tax liability and maximize after-income tax, while tax evasion is the failure to pay or a deliberate underpayment of taxes. To further illustrate my point that we'll we'll set an example for a company called Apple. Apple builds a manufacturing plant in Ireland because Ireland's corporate tax rate is around 12.5%, while in US is about 21%. So Apple decides to go to Ireland for its favorable conditions. Also take note that Ireland is a tax haven. Moreover, Apple has a subsidiary firm in Ireland. This means that the company Apple pays their research and development in America, while its international sales kept its revenue generated in Europe. Also, there is a term called deferred tax. This means that the income tax that a company will pay in the near future, instead of paying immediately, they can pay it later. Just because of this, the majority of the domestically obtained profit will be transferred in the tax haven or Ireland, which they can minimize their taxes, which it could generate more profit into them. For global cities, what they are and how they are conceived will be discussed by my fellow groupmate. And thanks for listening and have a great day.
Good day, I'll be the one to tackle about global cities, what they are and what they conceive. With the emergence of multinational corporations and the infeasible community of nation-states, both as key actors of global community, each to their own respect, to the world, at least figuratively, seems to be smaller and more connected. The result of this constant interaction between wide array of cultures is a conglomeration of cultures in a particular geographical setting which has been labeled as a global city.
To be able to imagine, observe, and define global city, one first need to be able to imagine the world, the globe, as one entity. So, if we say global city, it is a highly developed infrastructure, a large population, and high level of economic activity. But to truly understand the global city, one must need to see the world as one entity. This means recognizing everything in the world is interconnected in terms of economy, culture, politics, and events. In one part of the world can greatly affect those in another. We are not just talking about a city that physically located in a certain place. We are talking about the city that has significant role in our country, like Manila, Cebu, and Davao. So these countries are considered as global cities here in Philippines. According to SA since 1991, global cities are characterized by occupational and income polarization, with a highly paid professional class on one end and providers of low services on the other. So in SA since 1991, gi-highlight niya ang disparities in global cities between the high income earners and low income earners. This is what referred to as occupational and income polarization. So one of the examples of high income services kanang mga nagtrabaho sa mga finance, technology, law, corporate management. So this work kay high income siya. So typically sa global cities diyan nagtrabaho ang mga highly skilled individuals or mga professionals. So they are high income earners. So one of the example of low paid services kay kanang mga maintenance like street sweepers, and also retail.
I am the last reporters of Group 3 and I am going to discuss about the global cities, what they are and how are they conceived. The last part is that, however, everyday life in a global city is likely to include at least some downsides: high housing costs, long working hours, competitive and precarious labor market, long commuting times, urban anonymity, and a relative social isolation, a fear of strangers and crime, and the challenge of practicing neighborliness and multiculturalism in close proximity to diverse neighbors. It means that pag pag ang lugar or city nga apil sa global city is mahal ang ilahang balay, like ilang baligas nga balay mahal, taas ang ilahang working hours, and ikay sila ga-socialize sa ubang tao. Like, nara sila most sa balay, yung makita, like, sa uban na dili kayo wigoras. Conclusion, as the development of global condition, cultural diversity of markets among countries arise, and the world as we knew it is currently in the state where people are diverse, however connected. The 21st century era brought the countries together into global competition, and the connection of the people are being closely sinking and sinking. That's all. Thank you.